A very fresh and a very wonderful morning to one and all present here. Myself Zainab Kagdi from Atmiya Green School, Jadeshwar Bharuch. We are back with English subject and today we are going to start the question answers explanation of Unit 4, that is Unlikely Destinations, Section 1, that is Emperors on Ice. So before we begin, let us first undertake the starter. Here the starter was read this information advertisement that was said to have been printed in a newspaper. It was supposedly given out of Ernest Shackleton to recruit men for his endurance expedition. So here its answers are, what kind of people do you think would have been suitable for this job? So what kind of people? So here in the on page number 88, if you look upon the notice which is given to you, like a famous advertisement is there. If you look upon it, you will get that the answer is adventurous, courageous, loves wildlife and likes winters. Would you have liked to apply for it? So the answer is upon you. If you like some adventurous or courageous tasks to undertake for yourself, then you would say yes, I would have liked to apply for the job. I would enjoy discovering new places and the adventures that come with it. If you do not like it, then you can write according to you. Moving on to Emperors on Ice. Here you can see on page number 93 and 94 on your textbook for class 8. First is question 1. On the basis of your understanding of the text, take the best choice of the answers. So your MCQs are given. I'll just dictate the questions and we'll discuss its answers. Just grab your pencils in hand and start taking the answers, taking your textbook. The first is expedition was undertaken to first study penguins, study the theory of evolution, explore Antarctica, or all of the above. So obviously it was a study of penguins. Just take the first answer. Then question 2 is, what made the journey even worse was that first the roof of the igloo flew away. Second, it was midwinter in Antarctica. Third, they were not prepared for the ordeal. Or fourth, it was the explorers' maiden journey. So, what made the journey more worse? Okay, already the journey was tiresome and hard for them, but what made it more bad for them, more worse for them, was that it was midwinter in Antarctica, and in midwinter nobody dares to go there. Question C is, the link between dinosaurs and penguins was proved wrong. Yet this journey was successful. Why this journey was successful? Even though the calculations they had made for studying the penguins and dinosaurs, the link between them was failed, was proved wrong. But still it was successful one because the explorers reached Antarctica. The explorers managed to brave the ordeals. The explorers got the penguin eggs, or fourth, the explorers reached a place that others didn't. So obviously they got the penguin eggs, so the option C is the correct answer. Moving on to the question 2, that is, what did the scientist want to establish after studying the eggs? Okay, so the scientist wanted to establish something. What was that they wanted to establish after studying those eggs? They went to find those eggs, correct? So what did they wanted to do with the eggs? What study did they wanted to do? So at that time it was thought that the emperor penguin was one of the planet's most primitive birds, and that analysis of its embryos would reveal links between all birds and their reptile predecessors. So obtaining the embryo of the emperor penguin was thought to be of extreme importance, and that is why they wanted to study the emperor penguin's eggs. So next question is, what additional benefits did they expect to achieve through this journey? What additional benefits they wanted to get that eggs? What additional things were they expecting? The expedition would benefit them in the other ways too. Firstly, it gave them the opportunity to try out different sledging rations under extreme field conditions with varying quantities of fats, etc. And secondly, Scott had requested that his meteorologists deliver predictions for the most likely weather conditions to be encouraged on the Great Ice Barrier during his attempt on the pole. For this, they needed weather data from the Great Ice Barrier in winter. So the success of other polar expeditions depended on them. Moving on to question number 4. What motivated Wilson to undertake this difficult journey? So Wilson was the trip's zoologist who had dedicated his life to the study of penguins. For Wilson, the chance to continue studying the breeding biology of the birds was an irresistible temptation, and he risked this difficult journey just to follow his passion, passion for the animals, the biology of the birds. He was a trip's zoologist. Question 5. What was the curator's first reaction when he saw the eggs? Okay, when he saw the eggs, what was his reaction? The curator of the American Museum of Natural History did not recognize the importance of eggs. He dismissively asked Cherry Garrard to take the eggs to an egg shop. Okay, he did not have any importance for them. Now question 6 is fill in the table with information about the adventurous ordeal. So first is name of the explorers. The name of the explorers were Dr. Edward Wilson, then Apsley, Cherry Garrard, and third was Lieutenant Henry Robertson, Bodie Bowers. So these were the 3 people. Next is chief reason for undertaking the journey. So the chief reason for undertaking this difficult journey was securing 3 emperor penguin eggs, mode of transportation for the Terra Nova, the ship that was reinforced from bow to stern with 7 feet of oak to protect against the Antarctic ice pack. The mode of transportation, okay, the main reason for undertaking the journey was securing 3 penguin eggs. That's it. What was the mode of transportation? It was a ship that was reinforced from bow to stern. Okay. What are difficulties faced on the way? So there were many difficulties. First was bad weather. Second was pack ice. Third was the darkness of the winter. Fourth was temperatures were below -60 Fahrenheit. Crevasses on ice, frostbite, rookery in inaccessible places, and last is violent blizzards. So these were the difficulties they faced on their way. And last but not the least, what was the reward given to them? They successfully acquiring 3 emperor penguin eggs from Cape Crozier. So that was the reward to be given to them. Reading 2, will start with the reading 2. Okay. Answers were very okay. First question is, what according to you was the greatest challenge faced by the explorers? Why do you think so? So while reading the whole lesson, we came across that they faced many difficulties in order to get that 3 emperor penguin eggs, correct? So what according to you was the journey easy for them, and what was the greatest challenge they faced? So the answer can vary. It is up to you. I'll give you a sample answer. I think the journey from their base camp at Cape Evans to Cape Crozier was the most difficult part of their journey. They had to walk 120 kilometers in temperatures below -60 Fahrenheit with 2 sleds of food and equipment through thick, glowing snow in darkness. And second An explorer must have following traits. Give evidence to prove that the explorers in this piece had them all. So in this piece of the lesson which we read today, the explorer had these qualities. First is focus. It was pitch black. Just we need to just give the evidence that yes, they had a focus. So yes, they had a focus. The explorers had focus. We can say that by it was pitch black and the three had to navigate by candlelight and the stars. So they had a focus to for moving on to the journey. B is a preparedness. Captain Scott started planning his second expedition aboard Terra Nova, the ship that was reinforced from bow to stern with 7 feet of oak to protect against the Antarctic ice pack. So yes, they were already prepared. Third is conviction. They were to track on a terrain where they would barely see the ground at their feet, and all for the unlikely price of 3 emperor penguin eggs. D is perseverance. The average temperature as they plodded on was minus 60 degree Fahrenheit, and it fell as low as minus 77 degree Fahrenheit. So yes, they had the perseverance. Next is resilience. There was pus in their blistered frostbite. The teeth cracked and they feared breaking bones. So yes, they were resilient. They were resilient. Next is risk taking. They took turns falling into crevasses. A sense of higher purpose. For him, it was the quest for truth that was important, not worldly success. So yes, we can. This is an evidence that they just wanted to know. They had the hunger for truth. They were not greedy for the worldly success. Question 3 is the worst journey in the world is one of the most popular travel books ever written. Why do you think so? I think it is popular because it shows how even the worst conditions can be overcome with fortitude. It is an inspiring tale of extraordinary courage and resilience. Question 4 is please mark this answer very important. Discuss the title of the piece. That means discuss the title, The Emperors on Ice. Is it appropriate? So yes, refers to the emperor penguins who live in Antarctic polar region. So emperors on ice. So here emperor is not the explorer, but emperor is that penguins. Okay, and they lived in an Antarctic polar region. So that was an icy area. So that is why it is called emperors on ice. The title also refers to the brave scientists who went to Antarctica. They are called emperors for having braved the extreme weather conditions to acquire the penguin eggs. Moving on to the vocabulary part, that is on your page number 95. You read about heroes. Below are some traits of a hero. The traits have been described. Okay, traits means qualities. Write one word for each of them from the help box. So help box is given to you. I'll just dictate the answer for you. The first is he or she has fixed intention or resolution, a firmness of purpose despite opposition or setbacks. He or she is called persevering. Second is he or she is willing to give up something that one values greatly for the sake of something or someone. He is sacrificing. Third is he or she cares for and respects people and seeks the common good by offering his or her time, service, and talent. He or she is humanitarian. They have the quality of humanity. Fourth is he or she meets danger without fear, willing to risk confrontation if necessary, not afraid to make mistakes and learns from them. They are courageous. They are not afraid to make mistakes. Fifth is he or she encourages others and gives them the credit and recognition for a job well done rather than trying to be in the limelight all the time. That yes, I am the one, I am the best. Even though someone else has done correctly, they find faults in them and they don't allow them to come in the limelight. So the people who encourages others and gives them the credit that yes, you have done a wonderful job, and so they are called selfless people. Next is he or she can be counted on to be honest and true to one's word and commitments. So he or she is a trustworthy. Seventh is he or she sees the big picture, identifies the problem and plans a solution. So he is a problem solver. Eighth is he is able to laugh at himself or herself and helps others feel at ease. Then he is humorous, funny. Ninth is he or she cares deeply and strongly about the causes he or she supports. Then he's at conviction. He has conviction. Okay. He or she has the ability to direct one's energy toward a particular point or purpose, to concentrate one's energy. Then he or she is dedicated. So these are the these are the traits used for a particular quality of a person has. Last is he or she acts within the law, being careful to respect the rights of others and their properties. He or she is responsible. Moving on to direct and indirect speech. So first I'll explain you what are what is direct and indirect speech. So here when we say our lives has been taken away and given back to us, Cherry wrote. And Cherry wrote that their lives had been taken away and given back to them. So here the first sentence, that is called direct speech. If you open up page number 96, you will understand this. Direct speech is a speech which is spoken from one person to the second person. It is called direct speech. And when the speech spoken by the first person is being the data is transformed from the second party to the third party, that is from the second person to the third person, then it is called indirect speech. For example, if I say tomorrow's school timing is 9:30, then to all the students who are listening to me, so it is a direct speech between the first person, the speaker is called the first person, and the one who is listening is called the second person. So it is like direct speech. Okay, the speech between the teacher and student. Now when if any of the student is absent, and if that student is informed by the second person student, that is if the students are informing to their best friend when his friend is absent in the school, they inform that tomorrow's school timing is this. Madam said that tomorrow the teacher school timing will be this. So when the student informs the second person informs the third person, then it is called indirect speech. Again, I'll give you an example of direct speech. There, a supremely unimpressed curator allegedly greeted him with a sneer. "Who are you? What do you want? This and egg shop." So this is a direct speech. And when we talk about like this, Cherry wrote that their lives had been taken. So this is indirect speech. Okay. Now what exactly direct speech means? Direct speech shows the speaker's exact words quoted directly as spoken. That is a direct speech. जो शब्द the first person ने बोले होते वो exactly without changing the tense, without changing anything is spoken, that is called direct speech. And then what is indirect speech? It is used to reporting करते हैं ना, एक से दूसरे आदमी तीसरे को बताता है. Like it is used to report what someone said without quoting the speaker's exact words. वो same words को use नहीं करते. At the same time, without changing the meaning of what the speaker said. For example, if I say that tomorrow school timing is 8 o'clock, then the student is informing to the another student who is absent that teacher said that tomorrow school timing will be this. So that student has not quoted my exact words. Okay, what I said was tomorrow school time is 8 o'clock. He said that tomorrow school timing will be 8 o'clock. Teacher had said that. So these all makes an indirect speech. So while the direct speech is the words which is exactly spoken, that is called direct speech. Now we are having one exercise. Now read the given passage, fill in the blanks that follow by changing the sentences to direct into indirect. into reported speech. Okay, indirect speech is also called reported speech. The first is The first A is that she had got something for him. Emily told Alan that she had got something for him. Alan asked what it was. Emily asked Alan if he remembered the scarab beetle that they had read about. So here you can see that when you convert direct into indirect speech, what you need to do is you need to put that. Okay, Emily told Alan that. Here that is used. So for reported speech, we always use that. And again, I have. The have will turn into she had. So past tense, you have to convert into past tense. Emily told Alan that she had got something for him. What? Then Alan asked what it was. What it is converted into what it was. What it sorry is. Now is converted into was. You can see when you check both of them all together, then you will understand this. What it is will convert into what it was. He remembered the scarab beetle that they had read about. It was the one that was supposed to be sacred. It was said that if a so here Emily asked Alan if he remembered the scarab beetle that they had read about in the history class. Alan asked her if it was the one that was supposed to be sacred. Emily nodded. She added that it was said that if a sick person wore a scarab beetle pendant, then he would be healthy again. She handed the pendant to Alan and said the gods would grant his wish and make him healthy again. Then Alan's eyes filled with tears. He told Emily that she had brought him one, that it was very kind of her to have brought him a good luck charm. Then again the answers are here. The question 2 is homework, that is about the ruchi, that you have to do it on your own. You need to convert the direct into reported speech, use the word that, that, and convert the present tense into the past tense. Then question 2 is Aziz has just moved to Jaipur, where he meets Vishu for the first time. In the following paragraph, Vishu reports the conversation that took place between the two. Can you rewrite the conversation using direct speech? So here the answer is, it is my pleasure. It is my pleasure, I replied. I hope you're enjoying your stay in Jaipur. Aziz said, I think Jaipur is a beautiful city and the people are very friendly. My friends and I play football in the evenings. Would you like to join us? I asked him. He said, I love football and look forward to playing with you and your friends. So here this are just answers. You need to write this on your own. Then we have spellings. Test your spelling and editing skills. Read the following passage about a film called Last Paradise and correct the spelling and punctuation errors. So you know this, there are your passage given to you has some spelling mistakes. You need to correct them and also you need to punctuate it correctly. So that is also homework. So you can underline the wrong spellings in your textbook and you need to correct it in your notebook. You can correct it on the top of it also, and you need to also put punctuation marks. The answers will be shown to you in the form of PDFs. So kindly complete your book and textbook.